On a visit to Amoti Singoma's farm that sits on 300 acres in Kabalole district, best describes why he's so popular in Uganda. He beams with pride and talks with vigor as he takes anyone around his farm. Singoma ventured into commercial farming after a discussion with his wife Rose. Though he accepted his wife's counsel, it did not occur to him that he had embarked on a journey to establish one of the greatest model farms not only in the country but across the Great Lakes region as well.
I'm grateful that when I started this cassava garden, I didn't expect it to really be what it is. It has become a regional garden now. Like you can see the visitors I'm having from Nairobi. They've been impressed and they want to bring more farmers to come here. Secondly, it will be very unfair if the locals, the people of Uganda, don't come and see this cassava because we are about to harvest it.
However, although Singoma Amoti is a successful farmer, the information coming from the Ministry of Agriculture is that cassava production in Uganda is on the decline. It is for this reason that the National Cassava Coordination Committee, which has now drafted the National Cassava Policy, was put in place.
In that policy, and so that we finalize it and later on pass it on to top management in the ministry. Later on it would be passed on to cabinet, and then with all improvements made on it, it would then be passed by Parliament so that it becomes a policy to guide the cassava subsector developments in this country.
This cassava development policy is intended to facilitate increased commercialization of cassava and cassava-based products on the domestic and export market so as to advance awareness on the fair trade and consumer health.
So this policy wants to look at those various aspects of marketing and see that whatever product of cassava you are selling, it goes according to standards. We put the correct infrastructure to enable the farmers market it in an organized way, and that way people, both the producers or all the people along the value chain, begin to get better income from the crop that they're handling.
Daisy Eresu, an agricultural officer who leads the team, says this 5-year working development strategy also intends to increase the cassava production from the current 700,000 to 1 million tons by 2017. Cassava is grown by over 75% of the households in various agroecological zones, and it provides 22% of the cash incomes, hence holds the potential as a poverty alleviation enterprise for those involved in its value chain.
And most of these farmers, studies have shown that whether they grow it on a small scale or on a big scale, 60% of those farmers who grow it do sell some of the cassava they've grown, so it provides some income to those households. And so it's a very important crop at household level, both in terms of food and income. But for us as a ministry, we know cassava has got a big potential if we develop its value chain so that we create or get or manufacture other products from cassava.
However, in Uganda, Amoti Singoma stands as an example of a successful commercial farmer of a non-traditional cash crop, slashing a notion that such non-traditional crops cannot be grown on a large scale, later on attract big money. Samuel Senono, reporting for UBC TV News.
So,